Yes. Yes, they can. Now, you need to understand that this is my opinion, whether you agree or disagree. Either or, that is fine and okay with me. So, Google defines a fandom as the state or condition of being a fan of someone or something. Yeah, okay, yeah, cut and dry, very simple, basic, I get it, I agree. And it's great to be a fan. Like, it's exciting, it's fun being a part of the community, you get to meet all the different kind of people in it, you share a similar interest, it brings people together, and, also you're supporting who created the thing that you're into. Now, before I get all into it, let me just back up a little bit. Now, what I mean by fandoms, can they ruin a series? I'm meaning ruining a series for newcomers. People that are new to the series or just now being introduced than someone who's already in the fandom. If you're already in a certain fandom, I believe that there are a lot more gray areas as to whether you want to stay or you don't want to stay. So I personally feel like I can't vouch for that. With my experience, I can only talk about ruining a fandom or a series for newbies, for people who are new to this whole thing, this whole shindig. So, with that being said, I myself have ruined a series for somebody else. Both of these situations were back when I was in high school. So, one was Naruto. Because I was a little too obsessed, I ruined Naruto for a friend because I talked about it so much, so consistently, that it was almost like my whole world just revolved around that series. It was like all I did, all I said, and so on and so forth, that I kinda wasn't open to doing other things, and because of that oversaturation of that series, I really ruined it for another friend. I just made them nope, I now have a negative association and connotation with this series, and I don't like it. I'm just nope, I'm not, just nope. I made them nope that series. The other series that I ruined for somebody, again, back in high school, was Code Geass. And I did learn from my Naruto previous experience. I was a little bit of a Narutard, I guess you could say, back in high school. And I can call myself that because I can laugh about it now. But the other series, I learned from that series. So I was like, okay, don't be too obsessed. But unfortunately, even though I learned from that experience, I ruined Code Geass for another person because I accidentally spoiled the ending for them. And because I did that, they were like, oh, great, well, no sense looking at this series now, no sense giving this series a shot, and I felt super ridiculous and really bad, and it was a bad time. It was a bad time for me, and it was a bad time for my friends, because I ruined that series. Those two series. Needless to say, both those friends, years later, have given each of those series another shot, and they got to rediscover them on their own, and have fun, and enjoy it, and honestly, good on them. Good on them for not letting a negative experience that I caused in the past totally ruin it for them to where they won't even touch it with social distancing plus. Social distancing squared. So thank you guys. I mean, awesome. Thank you for getting over my ridiculous past self. But that aside, I did have series ruined for me. I'm gonna name two that I had ruined for me. First series that was ruined for me was My Little Pony. And yeah, go ahead. Yes, I like My Little Pony. I think it's a very cute, adorable, friendship, fun, and magic series. But one of the reasons why it was ruined for me is because of my ex, who actually liked some of the, how do I put this lightly, fetished side of that part of the community in that series. That's a whole other issue. I'm not going to talk into that. But the biggest reason why My Little Pony to me was ruined is because I saw it every everywhere. When I first was starting up my DeviantArt and everything, you just saw it everywhere. You saw My Little Pony everywhere on DA, like people making characters, people pony-sizing. Like, I think back in the day, we like called it like, I don't know what we called it, but we basically talked about My Little Pony as if it was a disease or an infection, because before you know it, like, all kinds of characters would get turned into My Little Pony, like Naruto or Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever. People would just suddenly become ponies. And because I saw it so much everywhere when I was an upcoming artist on DA, someone who spent hours upon hours of like putting effort and just trying to make a piece look really good, and I put it out there on DA, and it only maybe gets 1 or 2 likes, maybe a comment, maybe I get a sub from that, who knows? That was back in the day. And when I would see all this pony content, My Little Pony content that just blew up, somebody to me, I looked at this My Little Pony art being like, wow, somebody probably only spent like maybe 15 minutes drawing this, and this was me back in the day thinking this, and they just got it all blew up, and they got all the faves and all the likes and all the subs or all the watchers, yeah, that's what they call them on DA, watchers, and I put my time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears into this one piece, and it doesn't even get recognized. That was one reason why that was probably the biggest reason why My Little Pony got ruined for me. And then eventually I got back into it and was like, okay, I see why there's a fandom now. I can see why people really like this show. And then, lastly, the other one that was ruined for me, and it kind of was ruined for me, but I also still got into it at the same time, was Full Metal Alchemist. And I say kinda because I still got into it. I didn't totally go away from it, but it was also back in high school. Full Metal Alchemist got ruined to me because we as a group, my gal pal group and this whole gang of like anime nerds just having fun together, a bunch of the girls in the group, and it mostly was girls anyway, but they would claim characters in the series. And it was like, once that character was claimed in the series, you yourself could not like that character. Like, Edward Elric is the one that comes to mind. Edward Elric was claimed by somebody in that group of ours, and you could not like Edward Elric. And when I mean like romantically involved. That's kind of what we meant by claiming characters. So it was really unfortunate, and one of the characters that I really liked was Roy Mustang, but because he was claimed by somebody else, that I couldn't touch him. Like, Roy Mustang belonged to this other person, and I was like, oh, sad day. So that honestly, when I think of claiming and stuff like that, I honestly think of gatekeepers. I think of people that just are like, nope, you cannot get into this fandom, this series, this whatever, until you complete this form and this test. Take all the quizzes. You better know their blood type. And oh my goodness. So that kind of ruined FMA for me a little bit. But then eventually I got back into it on my own, and I never really got out of it. So that's why I say kinda. Anyway, so that makes me think about, how does one ruin a series for a newbie, for a newcomer, for somebody who is coming in, getting introduced into something? So I have 5 things, and the 4 I've already talked about. First, constant obsession. I'm guilty of that. I've done that. Whoops. Unavoidable spoilers. I've done that too. More in my personal circles, but I'm guilty as charged. Seeing it everywhere, and then of course gatekeepers. But the thing that I did not talk about was toxicity. And I think that's the biggest reason why right now, as you can see, I am drawing fan art of Has Been Hotel and my character Cotton and stuff in there and whatnot with some canon characters, blah, blah, because poor Has Been, poor Vivzy Pop, poor anybody who's worked on this series. I myself am blessed and fortunate enough that I have not personally come across somebody who's just been so toxic and detrimental that they have like wounded me in any shape or form, but I've only heard from it from second accounts and so on and so forth, and like seeing videos and stuff. That toxicity in a fandom, I feel like, is the biggest thing that turns away people from a series. And if anything, I think that was one reason why I was afraid to get into Steven's universe, is because I would hear from friends of mine, they would tell me about the craziness that's going on in that fandom, that I was like, ooh, I'm a not. I don't want my life to be all about that drama. I don't want my life to be all about that drama. So I was like, nope. But toxicity, it exists. It's a thing. It's terrible. And it's just mind-boggling in its own right. I don't understand how people can just be so seething full of hatred and loathing. I don't get it, and I'm not gonna spend time to get it, because I like to tell myself, if you don't like the sour grapes, don't invest in their wine. So, now, Hasbin, I just gotta say, like, I have never before stepped out to be in a fandom publicly. I've never announced it. I've never put things up on DA. If anything, on my DA, I'm very like, yes, there might be some fan characters up there, but I don't outspokenly say, hey, this is my character for this series. And all my personal friends, all my inner circle friends that are watching this, they know about all kinds of fan characters that I have made. Like, I've got a list, and just all kinds of fan characters I've made for that list, and all the different series I'm into, but down to the fact of only my inner circle of friends know that. I myself have never personally stepped out and basically showed anybody, hey, I actually really like this series, and this is my character for it. And I'm so glad, again, just like my last SPEEDDRAW video, again, I'm so glad I did, because I met some pretty awesome people from the community. Thank God. I'm so glad. It's almost like if I ran into a toxic person first, my first encounter was a toxic person, then if it was a positive person, then honestly, yeah, I myself as a newcomer to Hasbin and stuff, even though I've been a fan of the series for a couple of years, but I've never openly spoken about it. This is the first time I've actually stepped out of my comfort zone and publicly showed something like, hey, this is my character and this is what I think. And because that to me is like the biggest newcomer experience of going into a fandom, that if the first thing I encountered was some very toxic individual that basically reamed me for my character and stuff, you bet your butt, you bet your back pocket dollar that I probably would not post any more thing cotton related or Hasbin Hotel related or anything. I'd probably be like, okay, alright, yeah, whatever, I'm done. And maybe not. It's kind of one of those things. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the situation. I don't know the gray area. But long story short, man, this is me just rambling on and ranting on, and I appreciate you guys listening to me. I'm having a lot of fun talking about this. I'm just really excited to talk about things. But, long story short, my amazing peeps, just be nice. Please be nice out there. Be nice to the people who are coming into fandoms that are getting introduced. Be nice in general. Like, you know, do unto others as you would do unto you. And that just means a whole lot. So, yeah, I think I've talked this conversation to death. But yes, recapping, fandoms, can they ruin a series? Yes, they can, but when I say that, I'm meaning for newcomers. So be nice to the newbies. Be nice to the noobs. I am a noob, and I'm okay with that. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Give it a like, comment. Please tell me down below what's some of the experiences you guys have had in any of the fandoms. If it actually has been ruined for you, if it hasn't been ruined for you, tell me your experience. Tell me your thoughts. I would love to hear them. And, Yeah, like, comment, subscribe for more of this crazy and amazing content. I'm actually having a lot of fun doing these speed draws. My brain is like, what else can I think to talk about so I can make a drawing? Okay, all right, wrap it up. Okay, we wrap it up. All right, but remember, everybody, be awesome, be you. A Kemi.